Today, I'd like to teach you how to make some delicious, very basic macaroni and cheese. It's a staple in our house, and I think that many other houses feel the same way. Let me describe to you what we're going to do. First, you need a couple ingredients, very basic, remember. So water, macaroni of your choice, butter, milk, and a little bit of cheese. So I love to start this. I make it in small batches. You can make it in large batches. You just need to get a pot big enough that it's going to hold all of your cooked macaroni, and you will have enough room to stir it without making it overflow out of the entire pan. With that, let's start. So we're first going to heat up a pan of water. I have about 1.5 quarts in this pot. This holds a max of 2 quarts, so this is perfect for whenever your macaroni starts boiling. Turn that down so I don't burn myself. So I keep bulk items in my pantry. It just seems to be the way that I was raised, and this is how I do it. So this is my salt. You always want to make your water taste like the sea whenever you are making macaroni. So this is about 1 teaspoon. You can measure it out with an actual spoon, but I'll just do it like this for now. So we'll let this come to a boil, and then we'll add our noodles. This is a really fun tool. I actually got this at an arts and craft fair. What it is a spoon that you can actually drain any pasta out of a pan of boiling water without having to use one of those colanders. I'm also a pro save space kind of person. So whenever I have an ability to eliminate a large kitchen item, I get rid of it. So this is one of those things, because I can stir my water, I can stir the salt around in it, I can stir the noodles, and then when I'm ready to pour the noodles out, I can just hold it onto the side of the pan like this, and when you dump it, the noodles stay in, the water comes out. Perfect. So what I have as far as ingredients here, I have basically 1 pound of any pasta of your choice. You can use anything like this. This is a rigatoni. You can use elbow macaronis, shells. You can use the little spiral ones. It really doesn't matter. It's whatever suits your family the best. The other things that I have here are standard ingredients: butter, milk, cheese. So those will all go in at the end. You have to boil your pasta for, we'll say this noodle needs to boil at least for about 9 minutes, and that will make it done about al dente, and that's whenever you want to transfer it back into the pan. So this is the part where I would add my noodles, because this is a perfect rolling boil. So careful not to splash yourself. And those will go in. We'll give it a stir, and then we will let it come back to a rolling boil and let it do its thing for about 8 to 9 minutes. So I like to add a little bit of oil to my pan of boiling noodles, because it actually breaks the surface tension and doesn't allow the pot to overflow. So all that starch that's in there and is boiling, it will stay under a little more control but still continue to boil. Okay, so the noodles are about done, and I'm gonna check one. So yes, give it a good couple seconds to cool down so you can actually make sure whether it's cooked or not. So this isn't done, because I can actually still see where it's not cooked on this. I'll eat this one, but we'll give it another 2 minutes. Okay, we'll give it one more check. Hot, but this is better. This is perfect. So turn the heat off, and we're gonna go ahead and strain it. There is still a little bit of water in the bottom of this pan, and I'm leaving it there on purpose. This actually helps to finish off cooking the noodles. I'm going to turn the heat back on these noodles on low, and then I'm going to use about 3 tablespoons of butter and let it melt into the pan. 3 tablespoons seems to work really well for 1 pound of noodles. Then I'm going to use some milk. This is whole milk. It makes a creamier sauce. If you're looking to, make your mac and cheese a little bit lighter because you feel guilty and you want it to be a more healthy version, then go ahead and use 1% or skim milk. But remember, it's only 3% difference in the fat that you're actually using. So I'm gonna give this basically 1 circle around this pot. That's probably roughly a 1/4 cup of milk if you like to measure everything out. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my cheese. This is 1 cup of shredded cheese. You can pick any cheese that you really want. This here is a mixture of cheddar, Asiago, and a Mexican cheese. And you can just buy it, you know, in a bag from the store. I also love to just use American cheese, like slices. They create this beautiful melty creaminess in macaronis and cheese. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slices. You can give or take whatever you like. It's not, you know, a science. It doesn't have to be perfectly measured out. As long as you have approximately 1.5 cups of cheese to your 1 pound of macaroni, it's going to be perfect. Make sure you keep your heat low whenever you're letting this cheese melt, because you don't want anything on the bottom of the pan to burn. I'm going to use just a regular wooden spoon at this point and kind of give it all a toss around and let things melt through. You also want to give yourself a little more salt and pepper to the dish. So you can just kind of, you know, if you have a jar, shake it out. You have a salt shaker, shake a salt shaker. And then pepper. You can use fresh cracked black pepper if you want to be fancy. I just have black pepper and a pepper shaker. So I'll do it like that. I just like to coat the top of it. It gives it a little zing. If you want to make this spicy, you could go ahead and add basically like a 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and that would give it a nice heat. I would do that at this point while the cheese is melting and there's a little milk in the bottom of the pan, so that it would actually have time to kind of steep and give it some heat behind it. That would be a good for a Mexican flair night. So you can see that this cheddar cheese is kind of getting stringy at this point, melting through super nice. So our noodles and our cheese and our milk have all basically come together, and they are beautifully creamy and cooked to perfection. So we're just going to go ahead and put this on the plate. Ooh, hot. Depends how much you want. So I like to put a little bit of parsley on top of mine. It adds a little bit of green. It makes it prettier. So all you have to do is that. You can also add something like bacon crumbles to the top of it. That would be superb. But right there you have it. This is just a basic macaroni and cheese, and it can be served to anybody who wants to have a comfort dish. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. Tune back in soon to learn more tips and tricks and learn how to become a better cook.